それじゃよろしくね。なんだ？楽勝かな。こいつを受けてみな。はい。効かねえ効かねえ。なんて。イージーだな。珍しいね。こっちから行くよ。こいつを受けてみな。最後ですか？はい、行きます。決まってください。 おや、これって。ん？
I was lucky with such a generation. Although this generation will not affect you, it's expecting dark experiences that might potential experience. I was happy.
やったね。
Next week is called Back to the Start today's As the exit, step out.
Oh.
Wants to make it exciting. Television. Yes. Now, what's necessary? As the practice one, discover, struggle. They're out of space. About a minute, seconds.
Yes.
Mitchell, Tom just bring up the instructions on the Tom, John switched. Spawn.
任せとけ。
Pause. Start to walk. Change them. Prepare the friends. Stop. The whole section. Then,
手早く片付けよう。
sequence of certain step back. I'll tell a bird. Up on it. Roll. Snow. Stop. Back.
ダンスタイムだ。はい。
This time they're tough. Almost all. Oh.
よいしょ。あらよ。余裕の勝利ね。珍しいね。
That's happening. Oh. Now just go on. Sounds okay. Sure. Can't just make this strange structure. It's not. For sure. Turn on. Turn. So done. Happen. Maybe my nature. First time home. It's all the same description. You're scared. Now I can say confidence.
寝てても勝てそう。
Next day, on the pilot. First, tell them to send unstop. This is exactly what I was counting and trying to do. I couldn't make it. This is so stupid. I'm trying to find out. I've not been in touch for quite some time. Usually that's cool. Didn't talk to me at all.
大丈夫ですか？
We talk to others as usual, which is not strange. I asked other friends. What's happening? It's odd and terrifying. Traits connected to it. So, so scary.
よいしょ
Just last minute. Set up his house this Saturday. Just a morning. Right. Just home. Is it on the
おやこれって
seven? Tell him. Sign it. Speed. Shins in that house. Just pass it. This is right. They're outside. It appears that they are early on in the world, having stone tools. Don places a dirt wall as a sign, writing "Hello." Walk away, or something. The sign still says "Hello." Don turns around
おや
again,
これって
further away from something. Once again, no change. The sign remains as hello. John saves and quits the game. This time, the sign is replaced. It says, "No exit." John breaks the sign. Next day, John removes another game. He gets in the main menu where you can see that he has deleted both 1 and 2. He selects the first slot and both votes. John spawns on a beach and heads over to a tree.
楽
Punches
勝
it, breaking
か
it
な
pause. But then he pauses for some reason, turning it back for some distance. John walks over to discover a teleport. So, John exits the game to explore. Past few videos, we see the fear that someone else is here. I want to draw your attention to another subtle and obvious. John breaks the log with item props, but as he picks it up, it does not feel like it should. It's almost as if something else is in
聞かねえ
John does
聞
not
かね
make a great video on this one. It's entitled Dialogue. John looks back up the world in its glass face. It constructs a cobblestone wall and adds a sign. And he exits the game. And you see that World 4 now has a size of 0.01 megabytes compared to 0.0 previously. John selects it. See that the sign has changed in response. Yes. John breaks the sign and adds a new one. What is your name? He exits the game again. See that the size of World 4 has changed. Now back down to 0.0 megabytes. Joined and the sign is replaced with a series of letters and numbers. Confused, John replaces the sign. Where are you? Another save and I'm in the administrative space and spawns. You need help. Saves and exits and both once again. This time there's no response. The sign lies broken on the ground. Suddenly, back near a door open. This is strange indeed. John has managed to have a
気をつ
conversation
けて見つかったよ
respecting his world. He says that it's trapped between the administrative space and, well, something. We don't really know what the dashes stand for. It's a disconcerting part of this whole sequence is hidden. John asks if the entity needs help and is unable to reply. Someone, something, told John. John asks for the name that responds with a sequence of letters and numbers. It turns out that this is in base 64, which is a binary to text encoding scheme. In other words, this sequence can be converted into text using code. To discover the difficulties. The following video was created on the same day. It's called Technical Research. This is the most popular video on the John Game Lover channel by far, with 100,000 views at the time of this recording. It's popular for a good reason. Mysteries of this series are about to deep. Begins on the rooftop of the last base of floor 4. John descends the stairs and exits his base. He approaches his cactus farm. He notices that there are a multitude of pork chops in the town. John enters the teleporter. The teleporter that he built is still there. Flips the switch, and suddenly the shot changes to a pocket. Game is paused, and the switches back to John's perspective. He activates the switch again and enters the teleporter. John's teleporting to the cobblestone hallway. This time, he decides to explore. As he moves forward, he sees that there are doors with sign on them. John turns to the right to see another B64 sign. This one is decoded as
인간뜻
which is Danish for
ingredient.
John enters the room to discover a chest. It contains redstone and everything. The player exits this room and approaches the Cobblestone Hall. This also has a basic square sign, decoded as experiment. Or we see that there's another hallway. John doesn't picture this one. He turns to the right, a hallway. It passes 2 more doors into the sign. The third door on the left is this one, but this is not the existing. In fact, this sign is yet to be. On the other side, the sign says 617. John opens it and sees something. This is the stone. He approaches it and all. There's a lot to unpack here. First, at the very beginning of the video, we don't know what happened before opening this video, but we do know that this video was recorded on the same day. John is on the brink of meditation, counting some time has passed. It's also worth mentioning that this is where John ended up when he was the teleporter for a second. Things get weird when John approaches the teleporter with the switch close to the door. The video suddenly cuts to a shot of 617. It turns out that this is from the exact moment where the video freezes. By using the power of editing, they rearrange the clips to show how this works. John approaches the room, opens it, enters, and saves and exits the game. So why is this clip shown out of order? Why does the video John actually use the video? This continuity here is a strange thought.
フィニッシュだよ
Let's talk about
完
the
璧
stone
なハーモニーだったぜ
617. Back at our teleporter diagram, we'll notice that the teleporter both for
おやこれっ
to room
て
617, and now the teleporter goes to a strange cobblestone hallway that also contains room 617. It's not completely clear if this is the same room. After all, the cobblestone hallway is an exit. There's clearly something special about this place. This is where the reasons and has the types. In the next video, John is back in this world. He exits through the double doors and heads back to the left. Let's look at the area around his teleport.
おやこれって
Once again, John spawns with the cobblestone hall. He sneaks forwards, this time approaching the floor right. It contains another sign. Splitting it up properly shows that it reads Administrative Space. Behind the doors and teleporting. As John looks through, he
お
hears
やこれって
the entrance to the room. This time he's somewhere new. Cobblestone been so high up that it's invisible. John's inventory has been confused. He walks forward. After about 40 seconds, the structure begins to reveal itself in the pod. On approaches, it sees 2 signs. Welcome to Storage Place. There are 5 sectors of administrative space. It's another hall with doors on both sides. John enters the first door, titled Sector 1. This contains even more doors. While it's tough to make out, the signs appear to have RT in it. At the end is a closed door, Sector 115, stable version. Coming to the hallway, John enters Sector 2. These doors contain numbers as well. 0.0.0A, 0.0.2A, 0.0.7. Suddenly, revelation. Each of these doors corresponds to a virtual memory. Of course, in Sector 1, Happy RT stands for just an old game by Notch, the original. Some of the assets from this game didn't. In fact, the very earliest versions of the game still had the RT. In Sector 2, the fourth represents very classic Minecraft. The format was 0.0.8. The pattern continues as John approached sector. Now these doors represent Alpha. This is starting with 1.0. John approaches the door for Alpha version 1.2.02, version that they are playing now. They don't enter the door. At the end of the hallway is a sign that says Alpha V1.2.6 for progress. This video was created November 14, 2010. At this point in time, the most recent Minecraft is 1.2. This would mean that 1.2.6 is a few versions away. In the next video, John regains Extreme Space. Once again enters Sector 9. This time, he locates a door with Alpha V1.17.2. This version was released on August 20th, 2010, several months before this video was recorded. John enters to find a switch. Almost like loads a level. There's no more sound, but if you look at the top right, you see that apparently it's very dark, but John sees some light and approaches a base off the distance. It appears very normal. Crafting table, sits a chest. He leaves and starts climbing the stairs on the outside. Occasionally, John stops and looks out in the distance, but there's nothing. Eventually, he gets to the top. As of the recording of this video, Extreme Space Prep 2 is the final piece of John's channel. Some of you, this is the end. More to come. But I do know that the videos found here are facts. Let's take a step back and try to understand what's going on. According to the channel description, this channel was created to upload old Minecraft videos, presumably found somewhere on John's blog. Each of the videos has their original description as well as a date. These videos follow John's discovery of various anomalies on his Minecraft world. Many of these have to do with teleportation. You see this in the very first video, where John stumbles across a strange hole in the world that ends up transporting him. But the bulk of this occurs through the use of teleporters, a constructed structure. It's first seen in the aptly named teleporter, where John mentions that it was made by his friend. It's not exactly what this means. Did John's friend tell him that he had John's house playing his game? All we know is that John did not come up with the design himself. Teleporters, well, teleport. Each teleporter provides a link from one specific location to another specific location, much in the same way as the other. But that's where the similarities end. In some cases, there can be a two-way connection. John constructed the teleporter in 617, and turned into a world for overworld teleporter. In other cases, teleporters go to each Sometimes inventory items are saved, other times not. About these videos, there's a growing sense that someone else is active in John's videos. We see things that are slightly out of place, broken pork chops, broken torch. At least twice we hear it, although we never see the other thing. Eventually, the signs become more direct. Literally, there are signs in the game with text. John discovers these things in their names. The dialogue video, we learn it's in a rift between administrative space and, well, somewhere. Later on, John discovers this administrative space, or at least its third sector, which is for storage. Here, he finds doors corresponding to every Minecraft version. He enters one and is transported to a game chamber. There's also something strange in seeing this is to build signs, sometimes even when a new world is being generated. And then there's the mystery of 617. Why does this keep showing up? Why do all of John's worlds take to him controls to escape? Fortunately, at this point, I have questions and answers. The mystery of John Game Lover is far from solved, so please let me know in the comments what you think. I've linked the channel in the description of this video. I also discussed this on the official RG Discord server. John Game Lover is super weird. I'm excited to see where it goes. If you feel the same way, be sure to like this video and subscribe. Maybe I'll make an update video soon. Also, I've been getting a lot of questions about how you can support music.
Of the game's horror, rate them on a scale of 1 to 5. At the end, we'll add them all up to figure out if you just survive or truly 5. So, just magically swapped places with Link at the beginning of Ocarina of Time. How screwed are you? Let's just lay out 2 core assumptions real quick before we get into it. 1. Link is no longer in the world. Kokiri Forest, and Link's on your couch. You're trying to survive, and he's probably just gonna watch Netflix. 2. You don't have access to most of the meta aspects of the game. Things like backing out to the main menu, accessing an inventory, using glitches, nothing like that. Saying most, because it still is a video game world after all. There are a few quirks you can take advantage of that I'll talk about later. Okay, just finished watching the opening sequence of Ocarina of Time. Link, somehow you find yourself in this house. First things first, you're probably thrown out of Kokiri Forest. This place is inhabited by a race of beings that are born as children. I doubt they take too kindly to you appearing in out of nowhere. I think there's a possibility that the Deku Tree might hear your case and let you stay in Link's house. Honestly, I feel like the best course of action is to leave and be with normal human beings.
Aliens.
Good work. Finally get to live. But before we take a single step, I feel like I have to address something. World's scale. I mentioned this in my Ocarina of Time video game World Tour episodes, but I think Hyrule in this game is shrunk down. Like, isn't it weird that Hyrule Castle, Mon Ranch, and Kakariko Village are so close together? Today's length is measured in minutes, not hours. So I figured that the world we see on our screen is actually scaled down. Why? In actuality, settlements are much further apart. These are of normal lengths, just like our world. It's only when I got into old school RuneScape that I learned that this idea has a name. Scale theory. Villanor is similar in that way. Towns and cities are much closer together than they would be in a hypothetical real world. So where does that leave us with Ocarina of Time? If you were put into this game, would you be in the world we can visibly see while playing, or the true version? I'm gonna go with the world that we can see. While this hypothetical, scaled-up version of Ocarina of Time might be more realistic, I don't know any of the fine details of it. I'd just be making assumptions about things that aren't actually in the game. So we'll just stick with what is. Which leaves us in an interesting place in regards to our necessities. Water is at the front of the list in terms of things you need to survive. As a general rule, you can only make it 3 days without water. Since the full day and night cycle is just a little less than 4 minutes, I think you'd be screwed. I think, since you're coming into this world, internal functions would continue at the pace they would on Earth. It's not like your body would start over-consuming water to the point where you last 12 minutes in Hyrule compared to 72 hours on Earth. I assume the amount of water and food you need stays the same. Honestly, it's not like it matters. Water would not be hard to procure in this world. Considering there are towns set up all over, there are likely supply chains in place to get all those people water they need. One more person in Castletown, Kakariko, won't do much in terms of water availability for everyone. Even if you don't want to assume that there's a supply chain for that, easily get water from Lake Hylia, purify it yourself. Trace this water back from Lake Hylia here, valley, to an outlet Castletown, all the way up through Zora's River, true source being Zora's Fountain. Where this gets supplied from, I don't know, keeps on flowing. Most important, it's not salt water. Presumably. It's definitely not nasty looking, so a simple water boil clean this up for you no time. Right up front for water filling. While water is no problem, food, not so sure about it. There are only so many cows at Mon Mon Ranch. I guess NPCs don't technically need to eat. I don't really think being put into this world would make them suddenly need to eat, so maybe it's not as bad as I think. Considering there's enough cows to start yourself a farm here, I think you can get production up to the point where you never have to worry about it again. Drowning in meat. In regards to nutrition outside of just eating steaks, a few comments pointed out in the last video there's more to it than normal beef cuts. You get monkeys from eating kidneys, livers, brains. You'll be getting a lot of essential nutrients. Though I can't think of any vegetables.
いらっしゃい。何にするのじゃ？
Outfits, market stalls with food, anything. Guess I'll ask you guys, considering I'm not a nutritionist. I know you could survive the short term without vegetables. Long term, cow kidneys, livers, brains, etc. Those cause any problems in the future? Would you still be missing some key nutrient? Maybe dangerous? I don't know. You comment. It's not just cow meat. There are things like deku nuts, chickens, fish, and probably a bunch of stuff I'm forgetting. Dr. Rock? Bye. Hesitant to give this world a 5 out of 5. Lack of noticeable vegetables sticks out to me. I'm rating a strong 4 for availability. Honestly, I'm sure eating all the parts of an animal will give you most of what you need nutritionally. Midnight Gut, I feel like I should be just a bit more conservative in my rating. Don't get me wrong, that was still pretty good. Do much worse. Shelter. I mean, come on. There are multiple towns in this game. So, how are you gonna get a place? I'm sure you could find a kind soul to house you for it. Eventually, let your own home. It's a construction business in Kakariko. So how are you able to build one? You're gonna get that kind of money. I was gonna do a whole thing about what types of jobs we'll find in this world to slowly amass enough money to build a home. But you don't have to do anything. There are patches of grass in this game that have a chance to drop roots with cut. So cut down a patch of grass, cut whatever roots dropped, and then leave the area. Come back. Grass is regrowing, ready to be cut again.
何に
And
す
all
るの
this
じゃ？
does kind of push against the boundaries of metagame, like I described at the beginning of the video. Hear me out. While this world will give to you in a lot of ways when you're inside, it's still a video game. Like I said, I don't think PCs would suddenly to eat to survive. Water wouldn't suddenly start draining from Zora's fountain. I think this grass would respawn after eating. That means infinite money, baby. It will take you a while to gather up. So I guess it's still kind of a job.
何
For
に
this
するの
method,
じゃ？
you can eventually accumulate enough roots to pay the Kakariko construction guys to build your own house. You just claim someone else's house as your own. Or you can live in a garage somewhere. Options are limitless. I'll give it a 4 for shelter. Eventually you'd be fine, but finding comfortable shelter early on could be a bit easier. There are really a lot of empty homes to go around with the world. This is where we get out of the necessities and start to look into the nice-to-haves. Safety. This is an interesting one, because towns are really peaceful.
装備を変えるの
Kakariko
か
is chill
よ？
as hell. You probably spend most of your time out of harm's way. Major cards.
装備を変えるのかよ？
It's one catch. Evil exists in this world. Ganondorf will be a real person that you have to contend with. Not even personal, just him existing in Hyrule. Threat to your well-being. You saw what he did to the world after the time jump. Everything's hanging on just by a thread. He's an insanely powerful god, equally insane ambitions. His ambitions come to fruition? Ganondorf is only able to cause as much trouble as it is, because Link opens the door of time as a
ど
kid.
うするのじゃ？返しをするんじゃな。
Ganondorf is finally able to enter the sacred realm and secure the Triforce. He'd be able to open the door of time and reach the sacred realm by himself. All you need to open the door are the 3 spiritual medallions. He was already at work, pressure on the 3 groups that hold the stones. But given them up, he would have taken them by force. I think it's possible that he could claim them all himself. This is literally his life's goal. I have no doubt in my mind. It's best to find a way. But this raises an interesting question. According to the Hyrule historian, Ganondorf attempts to wield the Triforce and splits in 3 parts. The Triforce of Power goes to him, the Triforce of Wisdom to Zelda, the Triforce of Courage goes to Link. What happens when Link's not available to receive the Triforce of Courage? Link's not even in the same plane of existence. He's in the real world.
なん
He
じゃ
has Dorito dust tipped fingers while watching Road Rage
毎度
combos.
あり
It's the Triforce of Courage.
いらっしゃい
What?
装備を変える
Good
の
to
かい
hype myself up and say it go to me. Being realistic, I doubt I'd be the most courageous being in all of Hyrule. Just a But maybe the sheer fact I'm a human set me apart from everyone else in this world. Triforce would recognize that. I would definitely be the odd one out. Would that make me the most courageous? Hard to say.
今後ともよろしく頼むぞ
I have to go on a whole journey to defeat Ganondorf.
は
That's
い
definitely not
は
safe.
いはい
If someone else is chosen, the world's still gonna go to shit before a hero
夕方まででいいの
which is an assumption, by the way. They might not best him in battle, and then I'm truly screwed.
うーん
It seems like either way isn't too
さ
safe.
ても
Best
う
case,
一眠り
Ganondorf never finds a way to obtain all the spiritual stones himself before he dies, which is definitely not a given. Also, magic is real in Hyrule. I feel like the sheer fact that magic exists would inherently make the world just the tiniest bit more dangerous, at least. The worst case scenario, well, almost saw what happens in the worst case scenario. Give this world a 2 out of 5 for safety. I think the fact that you could live in a village like Kakariko
手早く片
without
付けよ
being attacked by monsters day to day counts for something. But when an existential threat like Ganondorf exists, that counts for a lot more. Reversibility. This aspect of the world isn't nearly as dire in Super Mario 64. In fact, I'd say it's about as nice as you could hope for it. It will only take you a minute or two to reach any of the major locations in Hyrule Field. If you get a horse, ooh, you're set. Nearly all of the areas blocked off to Link that's only accessible by using one of his many tools are located in dungeons. You want to live a normal-ass life? It's neat, no shot.
倒す
Right up front.
行ってきて
Socialization is another reason. There are so many people in this world. It's easy to find a little fit into. And think of all the jobs you could have that sees you forming bomb, run a market, own a construction group, work at the range under town. Have plenty of options to become part of it. Number 5. Sustainability. I already kind of touched on this throughout the various sections. Otherwise, I think you'd be set for life. There are enough cows, chickens, fish, whatever in the world to feed you dying breaths. Ganondorf does kind of affect the rating. It's one bad dude. Doesn't him alone. I think the potential of a world-ending event is something you have to seriously worry about. If he does get his way, the world shifts into the state we see with Overlord. He will get a lot harder. Give it a 4 out of 5. I already accounted for the potential end of the world safety rating earlier, so I won't knock this one down too much, but it still plays a tiny part. Aside of maybe the world being ruled by the King of Evil, you could sustain yourself pretty well. Which leaves us with the X Factor. Is there some indescribable quality to this game world that would make it super nice to live in? Is there something about it that feels odd? I think Hyrule would be kinda cool to live in. I don't know about you, but every now and then, I feel a tiny call within me to say goodbye to society, just live in the woods off the grid. And now bills, politics, world happenings as a whole, leave all that behind and some profile. And then, of course, I snap back to reality. I could live by myself and never interact with them the rest of my life. Go insane. Need mental stimulation from others. Plus, it'd be so hard to give up on societal conveniences
気
that
を
I've
つけて
grown
見つ
accustomed
かった
to.
よ
I think a world like Ocarina of Time let me an idealized version of my inhabited life. It wouldn't exist. I wouldn't feel the need to go on there and see what's happening or what people are saying about it. Just focus
一
on
時解散
day to day. There's also some
何か用
conveniences.
か
I could be close to people, provide services.
気をつけるのだ
I could provide services to other people. Bet this world would be like a nice change of pace compared to the recently atomized world like now. 5 out of 5.
いらっしゃい。
That's that. Let's go over the ratings I've given.
どうするのかな。
5 out of 5 for water availability. 4 for food. 4 for shelter. 2 for safety. 5 out of 5 for traversability and socialization. 4 out of 5 for sustainability. 5 out of 5 for the X Factor. Leaving us with a hearty 34 out of 40. This would be a bad world to live in. Only major downside is Unicorn's existence. He's caught before he can get the Triforce, and it's
ど
smooth
うす
sailing
るのか
the
な。
rest of the natural world. Check out either of these videos up
どう
next.
するのかな。
What do you think of
そ
the
れじゃ聞か
categories
せ
for
て
the
くれる。
series? Should I change any of them out? Traversability feels like a weird one inside of platformers, but I guess it does make sense, considering you will have to traverse whichever world you're in. Yeah, leave your
それ
thoughts in
で
the
ね。
comments. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.
僕だってびっくりさ。
レベルアップ。
どれにすっか決まったかな。これにするんだね。それでね。それじゃ頼んだよ。しっかりね。
よく来たな。どうするのだ。誰を呼ぶのだ。どうするのだ。ではな。